Hey everyone, it's Stacy with Real Life Psychology and Life Coaching, and today I'm going to talk about your fuel tank. Are you driving on empty spiritually, financially, emotionally? That's something we're going to address today, and I hope that you can dive into this with me and really understand how you're living your day-to-day life. All right, are you ready to have a seat on the couch? All right, let's do it. Okay, so I am literally on the couch, as I always am. Sometimes I'm walking around or whatever, but good morning. I am excited to share with you today what I learned in a refresh retreat that I was just in this past week. It was so motivating that I couldn't even wait to share it. So we're going to talk about your fuel tank, and we're going to talk about how that fuel tank drives you and what each thing means as far as spiritually, financially, relationships, emotionally, even health wise, your physical health. So let's start with finances. That is a big one for so many people because in the economy right now, everything is skyrocketing. I mean, you could go to the store and you used to be able to spend $100 and get tons of groceries, and now you're coming home with like 3 bags, and it is stressful. It's overwhelming. And it is at a point where people are really feeling like they are broken, and you're continually going over and over and doing this, paying bills. It's a cycle of things you're doing without even really stopping to take a look at the process. Are you making enough? Are there things you could cut out until maybe the inflation goes down? So we have to start asking ourselves, what are we doing that's draining so much of our energy? One of my biggest things is I've always kind of enjoyed paying bills only because it's like, I have the money. I appreciate having the money. I'm grateful for having the money. Let me pay my bills on time to avoid late payments and late fees and, higher interest rates. And so I was always that person that was like, yay, I have it. Let me sit down. It's bill day. I was, oddly enough. And now it is overwhelming. So it's gotten to a point where I don't even really feel like paying bills. It's like every time I'm getting a check, most of it is going out to bills. And it's like I'm working every day, all these hours, just to sit down and give all of it away at the end of the week or at the end of every 2 weeks or at the end of the month. And it's like, can I even hold on to some of it? Can I even appreciate that? So one of the things that I actually really started doing is taking 10% of my pay off top and putting it away. I know that is hard for some people because they're like, if I don't make enough to pay my bills, how can I make enough to take 10%? But in my mindset, I started thinking of it as I'm paying myself directly for the work that I did all week. And if I make $1,000 a week and I take $100 and put it away, I have to make that $900 work. And I have to cut out some things. I might not be able to go to Starbucks. I might not be able to go hang out with friends. I might not be able to, but I want to start paying myself first. And that may not work for everybody, but you really have to take a look at your finances and try to figure out why you're running on empty in that situation. So here's the thing that I really want people to do. I want you to sit down and I want you to draw a straight line all the way across a piece of paper. And then I want you to draw a line down the middle. And on one side, I want you to put an E for empty. On the other side, I want you to put an F for full. And in the middle line, I want you to put a half for half tank. I want you to get everything you're going through as far as finances, spiritually, relationships, emotionally. And I want you to post those on there based off of how you're feeling. So if you feel like your physical health, you're full, you go to the gym every day, you eat well, you do things well, and you're very healthy, put that on the fuller side. If you have relationships that are okay, but you feel like they need to be nurtured and you feel like they need to be addressed, you might want to put that maybe on the half or maybe before that. If you have finances and you know it's time to make some changes in your life, I want you to put that, more towards maybe not all the way on empty, but wherever you feel like these things in your life are affecting your life, I want you to put them on your fuel tank chart. And in order to do that, I want you to start focusing on the ones that are under the half tank and addressing those issues so that you can be more productive. You can be more fulfilled. You can feel like you're not empty, because what is going to happen is you're going to be drained constantly in that situation to where your other things start to be affected. So I'm actually going to add an example so that you guys can see it and you can see where, things are. It's not going to be my actual one. I'm just going to give you an example of one so you can see it, and then you can do yours accordingly. Here's the thing. If you are driving on empty, soulfully, spiritually, emotionally, anything, how can you really be your best self? How can you really give what you need to give to yourself and to others if you are on empty? Like, how far can you really get in a car? Can you get to California from Arizona if you're on empty? No. So how can you get through a day on empty? And I think people don't really take time to think about that. They just go, go, go. I'm one of those people. I will sit down, and I'm the type of person that by 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I've done more in my day than most people do in a week. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I get up early. I immediately start calling places I need to call, cleaning things I need to clean, addressing things I need to address. I multitask. That can be draining because I'm giving so much energy out. I'm not taking a step back and really evaluating my process, making changes, tweaking things. So with the fuel tank exercise, it is important for people to really feel where they're more empty at, where they're full at, where they can balance some things out at, to really get a perspective on your life and to really get a perspective on where all your energy is going. Because sometimes you're so drained at the end of the day, you don't even know what happened. You're like, all I had was a regular day and I am exhausted. And it could be because of mentally, you're going over things in your head. It could be because of so many things. So ask yourself, where are you on your fuel tank emotionally? Where are you on your fuel tank physically and health-wise? Where are you on your fuel tank financially? Where are you on your fuel tank spiritually? What about relationships? What about partnerships? What about just all different things? It is imperative that you actually take time throughout your life to step back and engage on what your process is. Is it working? Do you need healing? Do you need conversations? Do you need mentorship? Do you need financial guidance? Do you need to work on being more healthy and eating right? And healthy is not just eating right and going to the gym. It's, are you actually taking time for yourself? Are you giving yourself time in the day to rejuvenate and to recharge? Are you always pouring out and never getting in? Like, these are things that we need to take into consideration because the world is moving so fast. We don't actually take time to sit down and really go over these things with ourselves. We're committed to other people. We're committed to jobs. We're committed to children. We're committed to husbands and wives. We're committed to careers. We have to be committed to ourselves. We have to take time with ourselves and sit with ourselves. Ask ourselves those tough questions. Focus on what is right for us. And, I've always said in a lot of my videos, sometimes you have to cut people off. Sometimes you have to do this. Sometimes you have to do that. It works everywhere. In finances, sometimes you have to cut things off. In health-wise, sometimes you have to cut people off, but not only people, careers might have to change. How you do things daily may have to change. What you eat and drink may have to change. Spiritually, like, are you taking time to really connect with your inner self, your inner child? I've talked about so many times. What are you connecting with? What is feeding you every day to get up and be your best self? And doing this exercise really allowed me to see where I gauged at in so many different parts of my life. everyone out there can think you are doing great, but you also have to remember that you're the one that really is living in that life. You have to be able to determine what's working for you and what's not, and where your energy is going. Get in line with what's going to help you be your best self. There's so many ways to do that, but this exercise allows you to really dig in and see where you're exceeding at and where you need help at and where you may be just getting by. But ultimately, your fuel tank, you got to be full in those areas. You have to be full. And if you're not full, you're going to be dragging, you're going to be tired, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to be irritated, you're going to be frustrated. And there's so many little things that trigger bigger things to happen based off of the emotional, the financial, the spiritual, the health wise things that you're dealing with. So I really, really hope that you try this exercise, you take it seriously, you motivate yourself to do things that need to be changed if you're in empty, or if you're close to empty, or if you're under half on some of these things, and really strive to be the best you that you can be, because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be fulfilled. You deserve to be validated. You deserve to be emotionally full instead of drained about certain things that some people feel like they have no control over. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep pouring into you guys and giving you guys little tips and tricks on how to figure out what your best life looks like. And I hope that you follow me along for the journey. Have a great day and enjoy. Bye.